Chapter 3 End of a Partnership. It was 2 weeks later, and the first time Samantha had been back to school. She was sitting in the principal's study with both her parents. "Well, I've said, we are sorry to be losing you," said the principal. Samantha didn't answer, just went on staring at the toes of her sneakers. "Samantha," said her mother, "your principal is speaking to you." "Yes," said Samantha. She stood up. "Can I go and get my things now?" Without waiting for permission, she went through the door and shut it after her. "I'm sorry about that," said Mr. Stevens. "I suppose it's understandable," said the principal. "I'll go with her," said Miss Stevens, opening the door. She caught up with Samantha at the end of the main corridor. "Hold on a minute, darling," she called. You needn't follow me," said Samantha. "I promise I'm not going to run away." "Oh, come on, Samantha. There's no need for that," said Miss Stevens. "We're doing this for your own good." "Where have I heard that before?" demanded Samantha. "Wasn't it when you took me out of the dance school?" "Yes, when you nearly died from rheumatic fever," said Miss Stevens, losing her patience. "And this time it was cold, just a darn cold." Miss Stevens was so irritated for once she didn't pick up Samantha's language. "That cold put you in hospital," she said quietly. "Rather a hospital than this prison you're sending me to." The Stoke Dormitory School for Girls is one of the best private schools in the country. I've seen it. It's got a great big wall all the way around it. Miss Stevens went and put her hands on her daughter's shoulders. Samantha's face remained hard and unforgiving. "You're sending me away again," she said. "You took dancing away from me, and now you're trying to do the same with sketching. You're not up to it, Samantha. You haven't the constitution to be a major sportswoman, and you're incapable of doing anything half-heartedly." "There's no point in doing anything half-heartedly. There you are, you see," said Miss Stevens. "Look, darling, if you give me your word of honor not to see Alex anymore, and not to go off skating in secret, then I'll speak to your father. We can see about sending you to another day school." "What's wrong with Alex? I thought you liked him." "I do. We both do. But he's a bad influence on you. And he's not giving up skating, is he?" said Miss Stevens. "Go on, darling. Just give me your word. I know you'll keep it." Samantha shook her head. "No," she said. "You stopped me dancing, but you'll never stop me sketching. I'm 15 now, and the most you can do is make me wait a couple of years." She turned away. Her mother made as if to follow her. "Relax, Samantha. Like I said, I'm not running away." She looked back over her shoulder at her mother. "I don't have to, do I? You're sending me away." She walked up the corridor, leaving her mother leaning against the wall with a crushed look on her face. Mr. Higgins was teaching geography when Samantha locked on the door and went inside. The class fell silent, nobody very sure what to say. Oh, Samantha," said Mr. Higgins. "Are you feeling better?" "I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Higgins," said Samantha. "I've just come to fetch my things." "Yes, I'm sorry we're losing you," said Mr. Higgins. "Everybody keeps saying that," said Samantha. "Funny, a year ago no one even used to speak to me." She had to walk to the desk by Roberta at school, and to do so, he had to pass Alex. The whole class could feel the almost tangible freedom between them, even though Alex was looking downwards, idly doodling in his exercise books. Samantha took a deep breath and made it to her desk without faltering. She started unloading her exercise books and other possessions onto the chair. Mr. Higgins stood watching, an embarrassed look on his face. The rest of the class was still silent, enjoying the piece of high drama. Alex, would you like to help carry Samantha's books for her? Said Mr. Higgins. I'm not allowed to have any contact with Samantha, said Alex. Mercy Pierce made a rude noise that ended in a laugh, and Alex looked up for the first time and regarded him levelly. I'll help you, Samantha, said Toby, getting to his feet. Thanks, Toby, said Samantha, loading him up with books. Suddenly, everyone started speaking, wishing Samantha well. It was true. In the short time she'd been there, her relationship with the class had changed from one of being totally ignored to one of universal liking. Samantha gave Roberta, who was obviously upset, a reassuring smile. Let's know how to make out, Roberta said quietly. Of course I will. Samantha went to the front of the class. That's it, Mr. Higgins, thanks a lot. Well, the best of luck, Samantha, said Mr. Higgins, gravely shaking her hand. Yeah, bye everybody. Samantha opened the door and stood for a moment, looking back over her old class. There was a lump in her throat. You keep my desk free, she said clearly. I'll be coming back to it. Chapter 4. Liking each other. This Pope, the Julia dance coat, carried her big cassette player down onto the ice. A few people were skating around, bringing their training down to an end. For the dance club had the ice for the next hour and a half. She stared across the rink, then put a finger in either corner of her mouth and unleashed a most unladylike whistle. Alex, in the middle of the ice, looked up and came gliding over. Hi, he said. Hello, Alex, said Liz. You've not been to dance club lately. He shrugged. I didn't want to give Daniel a chance to gloat. Diane had been Alex's first partner until they had fallen out. She's hardly in a position to gloat. She hasn't found another regular partner since Nigel went to America. George not suggesting I partner up with her again. I'm not suggesting anything, but I'm not sure what you're going to do, said Nick. You thinking of going back to ice hockey? No. So is it another partner we're looking for? I don't know, Nick, said Alex morosely. I'm not sure I could ever replace Samantha. You used to mourn that she was too serious. She was right. It was me that was wrong, said Alex. Well, what are you planning? Alex asked Liz, carrying on mopping around in the middle of the ice. I thought I might try individual skating. You mean figures? demanded Liz. I can see it. Anyway, I don't need figures. Can you afford one of the other coaches? Sure, said she helped a bit. Ah, yes, sure, said Liz. She's your special friend, isn't she? Yes, and that's all she is, said Alex defensively. Don't be so touchy, said Liz, so you won't be bothering the dance club any longer? Alex shrugged. I thought I might still come along, he admitted. Keep my options open. Liz smiled. Good, I think that is more your fault, she said. You were working for yours until silver, wasn't you? On and off, he said. We were concentrating more on the juniors. Samantha were putting a new free dance together for them. He sighed. Never mind. Let's just see what happens. The rest of the dance club were appearing in ones and twos. Most of them were actress friendly to Alex. Only another skater could appreciate the charm of losing a partner. This kept them to basic depths that light. Fortunately for Alex, because it meant they didn't do much pairing up. When the rest of the class disappeared, Alex stayed on and lost himself in the crush of general sketches who came pushing and shoving onto the ice. He found himself a clear space in the middle. Samantha and he had been trying out a more advanced tune that involved flicking the whole skate right around while still traveling in the same direction. Relentlessly, Alex practiced the move over and over again, oblivious to everyone else on the ice. "Hello, Alex," said a voice, and he stumped and turned, expecting to see Sue, but it was Diane. "Oh, hi, Diane," she said wonderingly. It was the first time she had said anything to him other than an insult since the metro test when they had fallen down. "Sorry to hear about Sam. Are you?" He didn't believe it. "Oh, come on, Alex. I know how you feel. It happened to me as well. You know?" he said. "You and me. We were just getting used to each other and his parents up and moved to America." "Yeah, I know," he said. Then he gave a sigh. "What do you want, Diane?" "Why should I want anything?" "Because you're being nice," he said. "Only last year you deliberately ruined my skates to try and make Samantha and me lose our first competition." "That wasn't me," she said. "Oh, come on, Diane," he said. She was silent for a moment. "You still won, didn't you?" she said. "I was wrong about you. You could be a darn good skater. You are a darn good skater. You ran harder than me in the clubs nowadays." "It isn't going to work, Dan," he said. "We don't like each other enough to be partners again. Remember how it was?" "I was just playing with an idea," she said. "Look, we both train for Inter Silver. We are both working for the juniors, and we both need partners." He sighed and shook his head. She gave him a warm smile. "Think about it, Alex," she said. "We know each other's existing. Do we have to like each other as well?" She skated off into the crowd. Alex watched her up. "That's the whole point," he said to himself, "liking each other."